numbers, but so many people pick like the last 2 digits of their birth year or something.
The arbitrary numbers I use cannot be mistaken for a birth year because it's 3 digits.
There's so much
Fair.
gold in here. Let's pretend we're royalty.
Alrighty.
Princess Aoi, Your Highness.
I need to go claim something or another. Let's see. Alright. I will start with the least pleasant frame to use or encounter.
Yeah.
I don't like Octavia. I've always had a strong distaste for Octavia.
Fair enough. I've never played Octavia because the questline sucked.
Technically, she's one of the best frames in the game. Doesn't stop me
just don't
from
like her.
absolutely hating how she plays.
Well, I'll bring Nova because she's the best for grinding through stuff on Simulacrum anyway.
Also, back when Octavia was first added to the game, she is, to the best of my memory, the only frame whose visual effects have given me, like, FPS issues.
Oh shit.
Which obviously is not a problem I have to worry about now in Warframe. But it always annoyed me then. Alright. I also just... Her Prime is definitely better than her Standard, but I also just don't especially care for how she looks.
Fair. A lot of the Warframes in this game look kind of mid. At least in their base forms.
See,
The primes tend to be pretty cool.
I don't agree with that. I think most of them look pretty good, both Prime and Standard. But
Might just be a preference thing.
Octavia is not one of them in my eyes.
Real.
I think her Prime looks okay, and her Standard looks horrible. What?
Alright, ready when you are.
Yeah, give me just a second. I should have just gone ahead and claimed all the frames before starting so that I could have them all fashioned already. I will worry about further fashion frame later. But yeah, I concluded that melee weapons are by far the easiest weapons to level fast.
That makes sense. I feel like a lot of the guns do, like, piss damage when they're just starting off.
There are definitely a decent few that do, yeah. I mean, admittedly, most melee weapons do too. It's just that since they have larger attacks, it's easier to hit a bunch of enemies with them.
Yeah.
Funny enough, when you put together a chroma build that uses Gauss's thermal sunder with the augment that turns it into a buff, so you have like 400% space damage and 300% blast damage, most weapons, even if they're trash, will clear Onslaught without too much trouble.
Amazing.
I should have thrown mods on my frame. Oh well.
And I've been on a weird rabbit hole recently.
Uh-huh.
I watched the Chernobyl documentary, or sorry, not documentary, the miniseries done by HBO.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me curious about radiation in general, like asking radiation disasters, how it affects people and shit like that.
Yeah.
That shit's kind of crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
It like causes apoptosis, the radiation, specifically ionizing radiation, uranium and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that as it's passing through you, various parts of your body will just develop little holes.
Yep.
In particular, blood vessels and shit.
Enter the conduit now.
And,
yep.
So a lot of people who get sick from like acute radiation syndrome will wind up needing more transfusions than normal because they wind up pooling blood in random parts of their body or just flat out bleeding it back out. Shit's kind of wild.
Yeah. Radiation is one of those things where every time you learn something new about it, you kind of wish you knew less about it.
It's so funny because like one of the guys who was a substitute teacher at my school was apparently one of the like a team of 4 guys who invented, I forget the name of the specific chemical, but it's like the stuff that expands in diapers. And he did that while he was working at the Dow, and he talked about to somebody else, I don't remember why it started, but he was talking about how like, radiation isn't that bad, really, overview its danger, and it's like, yeah, but also it will kill you if you just get exposed to too much of it randomly.
Yeah, like, radiation isn't that bad insofar as people act like any amount of radiation is deadly, even though we're exposed to radiation, measurable amounts of radiation just by existing. But, like, heavy exposure to radiation is very dangerous.
Like, in Japan, they re-refine their nuclear fuel after it's been spent. And one time, one of the refineries had like a burst of radiation come out of the tank. And the first guy who was next to it got exposed to like 15 sieverts, 16 sieverts, something like that. And I was curious as to how much that actually equates to. And that is about 15,000 X-rays.
Yeah.
Shit's wild. In like 2 seconds. Like, it's not the only thing that can kill you so quickly, so slowly. But like, it's definitely the spookiest because of how hard it is to actually see it happening.
With each data conduit jump, the experiment's design dictates
it's like that and carbon monoxide are the two scariest things.
You will be able to complete this study, Hunter?
Like, actually, now that radiation causes big disasters, but it's not the only thing. There are plenty of natural disasters that are just as scary.
Yeah.
Like, there's this one place in Africa that had, like, they lived on a bed or a caldera, ancient volcano, but they woke up one night and like 2/3 of the village was just dead, and everybody's throats were sore and their eyes burned, and it was awful. And it turned out that like the volcano had exploded, erupted,
yeah,
and that sent like a bunch of sulfur and carbon monoxide into the water in the lake nearby, and it just rose up out of the water and like cover the entire valley.
Yeah, and
That's just wild.
That's the kind of thing that I honestly find a lot more terrifying than any kind of artificial anything, is the fact that, like, radiation can't happen naturally. So, like, it does also kind of fall into this category, just less often. But just the possibility that some natural thing could literally happen overnight that no one could possibly know is coming, that'll just kill you.
Like, one of the things they showed in the Chernobyl miniseries was, like, Pripyat was a satellite city developed around that power plant, and it had thousands of people, and they could see the fire and the plants, like, there was like a blue glow around it, and apparently that was just straight radiation. When there is enough radiation in the air, sometimes the air will act as a moderator, and the light will shift in color to show how much radiation is passing through.
Yeah.
It's called Cherenkov radiation. That's why there are a couple of pictures on the internet of, like, the inside of a nuclear reactor, and, like, the core is, like, glowing. That's where they're from.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with Ricotta. I think Dream Ricotta is going to be fun too.
Yeah. There's a reason why they're a favorite in the community.
Yeah. I figured it was just that, like, people liked being able to have the insane high fire rates that kick your gun up too much. But, like,
there are
way more controllable than, like, the Sestras are.
Yeah, there are other. Your Ricotta is up here next, like, up here somewhere, by the way.
I thought you were just ammo.
There are a number of other weapons that are much better for the big fire rate that kicks your camera up.
Yeah. No, Soma's a great one.
I've never had any issue with the Soma's recoil, personally.
No, I meant, like, the fire rate.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. I do also know that apparently a lot of the Warframe community seems to think recoil is a bigger deal in this game than I think it is.
Usually it isn't, but with the Sestras, they, like, physically make it hard.
Oh, yeah. I saw a video ages ago where someone got a Riven mod for the Frumna that had plus recoil as its negative effect. It was like a plus fire rate plus recoil Riven. So, like, a quick tap on your trigger and your camera would invert because the recoil was so bad it turned it all the way backwards.
I had a similar effect to that when I was playing the new game mode, Greater Rebellion.
Yeah.
Because I've got the Naramon school, like they speeds up the fire rate, and I was playing with it. And so even though I didn't have any recoil, the recoil was still kind of insane.
Yep. And then also if you move, like, manually move the camera down to control the recoil, the camera, like, floats further and further up.
Then the ends justify my means.
Like, honestly, I've played first-person shooters that require me to control my recoil more than this game does.
I mean, yeah, like, that's kind of the point I was making before, is, like, I see quite a few people make a huge deal about recoil in this game, but I've never felt like recoil was even the tiniest bit of a problem for most weapons.
I don't think anything my biggest issue with guns is the self-stagger effects.
That's, yeah. Removing... I remember leading up to that, like, people making a huge deal about how awful self-damage was and how it had to go, and as soon as they added that instead, so many of the people who wanted self-damage gone immediately were like, self-damage was better, go back to that, please.
No, I definitely prefer this to self-damage.
I don't. D was actually going to bring back self-damage at one point, but they just never really arrived at a version of it they were satisfied with.
Fair enough.
Honestly, like, the version of it they had for a while, like, in their kind of testing, was... like, you could only ever do, I think, 70% of your remaining total HP as self-damage.
Oh, okay.
And, like, I feel like that would have been fine, but apparently they didn't think it really worked.
I can't think of many guns that have a high blast radius that are also rather fire.
Yeah.
Like the incarnate modes on some guns, probably.
I mean, here's the thing. Or we're not gonna move. We're not gonna go to the next round, by the way.
Okay, gotcha.
Even during the era of self-damage, certain weapons with AoEs wouldn't actually damage you. Like the Tomb Finger Kit guns are basically a Lex with an AoE wherever it hits, and that didn't do self-damage.
A data conduit is open.
So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the likes of, say, like the Burston and Karnan, with how small their AoE is, would just not be given self-damage if they brought it back.
Hunter,
fair.
You are running out of time. Enter
Some of
the
them do
data
stagger,
conduit.
though, like the Leto.
Yeah. Oh, the Burston does too. My point is there were weapons that didn't do self-damage that were given stagger once the change was made.
The sanctuary will go on without you.
Damn, 29.
Oh, you only barely didn't make it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's the only primary weapon I had to grind out, so I don't mind going with it again.
Fair enough.
You can hear the Hellmouth too, right? Not just me.
It's one frame and one melee weapon down.
I only have one potato, so I'm not going to waste it on this. Ether daggers. Do you have a preference for the dual dagger stances by chance? Sinking Talon, Gnashing Pyara, and Spinning Needle.
If I remembered what any of them did, I definitely would, but
Fair.
I don't recall any of their movements.
Don't worry about it then.
If you look at their combos, like if you mouse over the what's the word? Like each combo,
yeah.
It'll show you like modifiers it has, so I'd say just pick whatever has looks like it has the best modifiers.
Okay.
Realistically, most of the time you want to go with whichever one has the best forward combo, because that's the one you're going to be using the most by far. I can put an augment on a frame for an ability I haven't unlocked yet.
Nice.
I don't know if this build I'm going to experiment
I get to use
with
a mod
will
I don't
actually
use
work.
very often.
Oh?
Amar's Contempt.
Neat.
90% melee damage, 30% slash. And on a heavy attack, it teleports to a target within 10 meters.
Neat.
have opened a new data conduit. Proceed immediately.
Xbox Game Pass added a game that's finally worth my time.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Dice A Million, and it's... I've been told it's like Balatro, if you've ever played that.
I have not.
Okay.
I know a fair bit about it, though.
Fair enough. It's a game where you roll a bunch of dice. Depending on the hand you got, you can select multiple or less. And you have to hit a point, like, count by the end of each round, and it's a roguelite. So you collect new dice through unlocking achievements. There's also rings that add, like, modifiers to your score at the end. And it's been pretty addictive. I'm having a good time with it.
Neat.
Ugh, finally.
I think it's on Steam as well. I don't know how much it is actually. It's probably not that expensive to be honest. But,
Probably
I'm
not.
having a good time. Recommend.
I don't know. I have kind of the same opinion based off of that description as I have of what I understand of Balatro, and that is, it sounds like a really fun game as a mobile game. I'm not gonna sit at my computer or at my Xbox and play it, though.
That's fair. And they're working on making an app out of it, I think. So, at that point, for sure. But, I don't know. I tend to prefer playing some of the games that are apps on the computer. I'd rather play Vampire Survivors.
See, I just don't really have a huge interest in that game, regardless of what I play it on.
I like some roguelikes, and some roguelites. Like, I like to Escape the Gungeon.
I like plenty of roguelikes, it's just the particular format of Vampire Survivors and games like it that I don't care for.
Fair enough.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone.
I've been considering recently, speaking of new games, instead, I've been considering playing an old game. I don't even know when I bought this. I assume it must have gone on sale for like a couple of bucks at some point. Apparently, I own Metal Gear Solid on GOG.
Like, the original Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid?
So
I
I've been
playing that because I've got the collection on Steam, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, to be honest. Like, I could definitely see how it is very similar to like the 3D games.
yeah.
But I just don't like it from the practical standpoint.
That's fair.
But then again, so was 3, and I eventually figured out how to get into that. So it's probably the same thing in that game.
Yeah, I also know I just generally, from what I have seen and heard and from conversations I've had, I think I just tolerate playing older games a lot better than a lot of people I know.
It just depends on the game. 'Cause, like, I played Fallout no problem. Like the original Fallout.
Yeah.
Like, I played a lot of PS1 games, obviously. I just never, like, I think that was just a little before my time. That game came out, what, 85, 86?
I don't know.
8, actually. It came out of my birth year. It was Famicom, I think.
That sounds right.
Enter the conduit now.
I didn't mean to, but I went through.
Well, I need probably another couple of rounds anyway.
Fair enough. It just opened up on top of me.
Yeah, they do that sometimes. Ow.
This whole time I forgot I had nourishment there.
Well done.
I'm playing on hard mode.
Oh yes, it's so hard
It's so
fighting
hard
these
playing
level 38
slowly over.
enemies.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if Metal Gear Solid... Well, actually, sorry. I got it confused. You were talking about the first 3D Metal Gear game. I was thinking you were talking about Metal Gear, the NES game.
Yeah. You were thinking I meant
Okay,
Metal
yeah.
Gear, but I actually just mean Metal Metal Gear
Gear
Solid
Solid.
specifically. Yeah.
I've not played that game, honestly. I've heard it's very good. Like, it's old, but it's still solid, from what I understand.
Yeah. I don't know. I
People
figure
really swear by the second one as well.
I figure I apparently own the game somehow or another. I might as well give it a try at some point.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of giving games a try that I apparently own, I actually played maybe like half an hour of the first Prince of Persia game recently, too.
Really? That's the one for, like, the NES, right?
I don't know what it was. I say first. I don't think it is actually the first one ever released. I think it's like the first one to have been popular, but I think it was a PS1 game, and I do think the original was an NES.
A data conduit is open.
But it is just
Go
titled
now.
Prince of Persia.
I think I played the demo for PS2 at one point. Because I had a bunch of those like PS2 demo discs.
Torture.
Yeah.
Lab rats also
Love those
feel
things.
pain, yet their suffering creates knowledge. If the
That was basically my
lessons
only
learned today
exposure to
save
the game
lives in the
Mercenaries,
future,
because I didn't
then
have the money to
ends
get it at the time.
justify my means.
Honestly, I mean, I've told you before, I didn't actually play a whole lot of video games until I was like in my mid-teens.
Fair.
Most of my exposure to video games prior to that was, for whatever reason, my grandparents had a bunch of Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games. I think that my aunts and uncles just left at their house. And my sister and I were given a bunch of those because the aunts and uncles that left them didn't have Game Boys anymore.
Nice.
So my sister and I were the only ones who had any use for them. And then I played a lot of like browser games on the computer growing up. That's what I did for the most part.
I played on a computer, like CD games on a computer, like as far back as I could, when I was fucking 2. Like, I was playing Delta Force. That was like the mil-sim game at the time. But like, I think I only started playing the PlayStation when I was like 4, maybe? Because like, I'd occasionally, my mother used to own a shop, and we'd have to stay there after school. Or, well, at the beginning, it was staying there because she was working, and then it became staying there after school. And they had a computer and a PlayStation 1 in the back. So I played that because my dad was a gamer, so he played the PS1 and the PS2 as well. I got my hands on a lot of mature games as a kid, honestly. Like, I don't know how I got my hands on them, but like, oh goodness. One of the games that I remember getting in particular was this like Die Hard collection.
Huh.
And the thing is, I couldn't, it had nothing to do with the game, like with the movie Die Hard, as far as I can tell.
I mean, a lot of movie tie-in games were just named after the movie and had no real actual connection with it.
Great example, Flushed Away. That was a good one. One that I remember liking a lot as a kid and then didn't realize other people played was the Peter Jackson's King Kong the game.
Huh.
That shit was like revolutionary at the time. It was a game on the PlayStation 2 with like, it felt like photorealistic graphics and no HUD. Like ever.
Huh.
And it's
Interesting.
a first-person game where you'd go through like set-piece missions, and it was an adventure game. And the majority of the time that you were playing in the game, you had like guns or spears or something. And the only way you'd be able to tell how much ammo you had was by your character literally saying it out loud. But probably the coolest thing was for a game made when the Xbox 360 was like kind of brand new. They had like fire spreading, and you could light a spear on fire and toss it, and then it would light the stuff around it on fire.
Huh.
That was the coolest shit ever.
We're probably going to need to extract this zone.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to get some more levels, but I don't think we're going to.
Yeah, enemies are starting to get a bit hard. The game's starting to stutter a bit. I don't know what's up with that.
Huh. But yeah, I had a decent number of little CD-ROM games growing up, but most of them were just weird little educational games.
Oh god, yep. Freddy Fish.
Funny enough, we never actually had those. We had, like, I don't remember the name of the restaurant. Oh shit, I didn't mean to go through here. There was a sub-restaurant that, like, in their kids' meals, they had demo discs for, like, Freddy Fish and a couple of other little point-and-click games. So, we always had, like, there were 4 demo discs, that, like, 4 games they had demo discs for. And we had those, but we never had any of the actual games. Until, like, a couple of years ago, my sister came across the Freddy Fish collection on Steam and just decided to buy it out of nostalgia.
Over, like, the PlayStation 2 was one of the longest lasting console generations.
Yeah.
And throughout the entirety of its lifetime, and even a little bit afterwards, I was looking games for that damn thing. Usually very piecemeal, maybe 1 every few months. But, like, towards the end of its life cycle is when GameStop started doing, like, every game's $1, buy 5. And that's when I got introduced to some crazy, like, cool games at the time. Like,
yeah.
I mentioned Mercenary before, and Mimic Studios always had cool games. One of the last games they made that was kind of a financial flop was called The Saboteur. And that was like a proto, well, I mean, it wasn't proto because GTA had come out before, but it was like GTA as like a World War II game almost.
Interesting.
The world would be in black and white when you started off, almost like a noir film.
Yeah.
And as you blow up like Nazi camps and outposts and shit, the world would gain color again. It took place in like Vichy, France. I think Vichy, France is what they called it at the time. Nazi-occupied Paris.
Yeah.
And you play as like an Irish race car driver.
Huh.
It's a very weird game. It was cool though, and technically it's on PC, but I've tried playing the PC version and it really doesn't run very well.
I'm not terribly surprised. Like,
most EA titles at this point just do not run well on PC.
well, not even that. Like, a lot of games from the PS1 era and PS2, even if they had PC versions, a lot of times,
like Windows 7.
yeah, like they just aren't compatible with modern operating systems.
For Windows Vista.
Hurry, Hunter. Conduit is closing fast.
Like, it's literally easier for me to get Lego Racers to run on a PlayStation 2 emulator than it is to get the PC version of the game to run.
Hunter,
if it's useful,
will go on without you.
Oh, that was enough to max out my daggers. Not my
Neat.
There are so many games that were in the pandemic roster
Oh, I hope so.
that I wish would get remasters
Navigation
that
has
I
been
just don't
updated
think
with
are,
new invasions.
or remakes.
Chaos is
Yeah.
spreading.
Same goes for Eidos, but they had more games that got remastered, like a lot of the Hitman titles did.
Trying to think. I know there were several games of theirs that I played growing up, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Time Splitters?
Nope. I'll tell you right now,
Star
most
Wars?
of the games that I played growing up are not games that anyone has heard of, I think. Like, they're games that my dad... that, like, some
Gangsters 2,
workmate of
Nintendo?
my dad's gave to him, or that he came across at some second-hand store or something.
Right.
I wonder if there was, like, a Hot Wheels racing game we had. I wonder if that was it that
I
I'm
remember that
thinking
game.
of. Like, the one where it was for PlayStation 1.
Hot Wheels Turbo Racing.
That is not the same one, I don't think.
That was the one for the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64, but there was
Let's
probably
see.
another one. There's Turbo and also Extreme Racing.
Extreme is the one I'm thinking of. My dad's sister and I played so much of that because my sister didn't want to play Medal of Honor.
I was in elementary school, and my mother became friends with the mother of one of my friends in school. And when we went to their house, I would play games on, like, PS1 at their place, I think. And among them was fucking Mortal Kombat. We were playing fucking actual old arcade game Mortal Kombat when we were fucking 5, 6. Shit's crazy.
I mean, okay. You say that, but, like, I assume you were probably playing it on some tiny little CRT where you could barely even make out what any of the...
Fair enough. I don't think it was specifically a tiny CRT, but yeah, that was CRT days.
Yeah. Man, I remember... This is obviously a lot later, because this was, like, Xbox 360 era, but I remember playing Halo Reach split screen with my cousins on this, like... probably not even 20-inch CRT.
Oh, goodness.
Like, 3-player split screen on this tiny TV.
Up to and including the time I was playing Xbox 360, I was playing on a CRT that was probably like 15 inches or 20 inches in total. Like, we had this old fucking, I don't think it was a Westinghouse. I think it was like an RCA. Man, what was the thing I learned? There was, you know, the three composite cables thing that they used to use for video, audio, and whatnot.
Yep.
Do you know what that cable was called?
I did know at one point.
I mean, the RCA.
We always just called it composite.
Yeah, they called it an RCA cable. Because it was named after the company that developed it initially. Even if it wasn't made by that company anymore. It's like Kleenex.
I mean, even though it does actually mean something specific to what it does, I'm pretty sure HDMI is a specific company as well. That's why there's been a big push recently for PC manufacturers to switch to DisplayPort, because every time you...
DisplayPort's just better, though, as well.
DisplayPort is better for computers. From what I understand, HDMI is actually better for anything that
Consoles.
No, better for like TV, for movie and TV show.
Fair.
Like anything that doesn't need to be reactive like an interactive medium is. But yeah, like any hardware that has an HDMI port has to pay royalties like per item manufactured to a company that owns HDMI or some such.
Right. HDMI was created by the HDMI Forum, which was a group of founders from multiple major companies, including Hitachi, Philips, Sony, Toshiba, and a couple others. And so they probably have to pay their royalties to those guys, or at least to the forum itself.
Yeah.
HDMI itself means high definition multimedia interface.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew the acronym itself did just mean something related to the... They
do consider it a brand proprietary digital interface. But to be fair, I think the same problem would happen with DisplayPort, because isn't that owned by Microsoft?
If it is, they don't charge royalties for it, like are charged for HDMI.
By VESA, VESA, the Video Electronics Standards Association. The creation in 1988 was used to promote Super VGA computer displays as a successor to IBM's proprietary VGA cables. Okay, so that's... I didn't realize that VGA was, like, specifically an IBM. It's crazy how many of these cords are, like, owned by a specific company, you know?
I mean, I'm not surprised. Someone had to invent it.
Fair enough.
And usually it's companies that have the resources to do that.
Or at least the resources to copyright it, or patent it. But, like, you'd think that, like, there'd be some kind of law set up where you didn't have to pay for the cable, like, royalties or whatever. Because, like, so many things just require them and aren't made by them. It seems like a racket.
Alright. That's not what I want.
DisplayPort is a royalty-free standard. Oh man. Not just is HDMI bad because you have to pay a royalty fee, you have to pay a royalty fee for every port on the device.
I thought so.
That's wild. You enjoy paying 3 times as much for the one computer or whatever.
Do not relent. The integrity of this experiment relies on your efficiency.
Man, I just remembered one of the other games that I used to find quite often were the plug-and plays.
Oh yeah.
Joystick plug and let you play a shitty game on it.
I had one of those growing up.
That's
I think
Spider-Man
I came across it at a yard sale. Excuse me, at a yard sale.
Probably the same for me, honestly.
I feel like that's where everyone got them. No one actually ever got those from a store. Everyone who owned those was like happened across them at a yard sale as a kid and begged their mom to buy it.
It's like, it's only $2.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what other PS1 games we had. We had Medal of Honor, which...
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. To my great disappointment, we never had any of the other Medal of Honor games besides the original one.
I think I had 2. I had the original, and then I had Rising Sun on the PS2.
Yeah, I played that one a ton at my cousin's house.
That one was pretty fun. I had a good time with it.
Yeah. That was our go-to 4-player, or 3-player, because there were only 3 of us total, but our go-to, like, split-screen game until we got Xboxes for years and years.
Then it was World at War.
A data conduit is open. Go now.
Actually, there was a bit of time before Void got a decent PC when, like, there was a decent bit of time when he and I would just, like, look for free multiplayer, like, free split-screen games or free demos on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 stores that we'd play, like, when one of us was at the other's house.
Yeah, go on the Xbox 360 and look at the demos.
But also, after a certain point, there just wasn't really anything interesting, so I broke out the PlayStation 2 and
had so much.
Had a ton of games. And then I remembered, wait a minute, Medal of Honor has a ton of cheat codes that work in the versus mode. So there were quite a few times when we would just do a versus mode where we'd set infinite ammo and only use grenades.
Those were like cheat codes that you'd set by changing your profile name, right?
Nope. There was an actual cheat code menu. One of the weirdest cheat code menus I think I've ever accessed was on Enter the Matrix on the PS2. That game was... I think it came out pretty much at the same time as the first Matrix movie. Or maybe it was the second one. And instead of it... Yeah, I think it was the second one. It didn't do any game titles. It was centered around 2 characters that show up for like 5 seconds in the same movie. Fun.
It was so fucking funny. It was like club shit. But like, I don't know. Those games were like Mad Max before Mad Max was a thing I could play. Cause like, Mad Max was probably already out at that point. Or it was on the Xbox, and that was it, I think. I didn't have an Xbox until, like, a few months before I had an Xbox 360. Like, I bought one at a garage sale, because it came with, like, 20 games. Among those games was, Halos 1 and 2.
Don't go
That's
through.
why okay. And that's why, contrary to Dom's belief, I think Halo 2 is the best game.
Hunter,
I don't think it's
you
the
are
best,
running
but
out
I
of
certainly
time.
don't think it's as bad as he
Into the
acts like it
data
is.
conduit.
Fair enough. You prefer the first one or Reach?
Reach. Reach is the
Reach is
nostalgia
good too.
game for me.
I didn't get... Like, I played
Hunter,
Reach when it came
the
out,
sanctuary
but,
will
like,
go on without
on
you.
loan from Dom, essentially.
Mm.
Like, I used to go over to his place quite often, because they'd watch, like, Game of Thrones, and I just wasn't interested in Game of Thrones, personally, so he'd just let me go into his room and play on the Xbox.
Reach was the first Halo game I actually owned, so that's why it's
Yeah.
the nostalgia game for me.
That's fair. I remember vaguely, back when I was playing, like, fucking Destroy All Humans, I think, one of the people who I knew, we used to have, like, another family living with us, the friends of the family, and he brought an Xbox with him, and so it was his Xbox. I didn't get to play it really, but one of the times I got to play 2 games, and the 2 games were Halo 1 and Star Wars Republic Commando. And those games were fucking sick. I think we did like a cultural exchange, essentially. I let him touch the PlayStation 2, he let me touch the Xbox, because there were plenty of, like, games that were considered exclusives.
Yeah.
Man, that's back when the consoles were actually at war, instead of both shit and expecting you to buy them anyway.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So, like, I didn't buy an Xbox 360 because of the price, but, like, because of that, I, like, double, triple didn't buy a PS3. And I kind of wanted one, but, like, they were expensive, and then I also think when they initially came out, they were going to require you to have, like, a subscription. I could be wrong. It might be that
For
by
the
the
PlayStation
time
3?
Yeah, like PlayStation Plus was the way you play
Don't
with people.
think they ever require... PlayStation 3 I don't think ever required a subscription.
Maybe that was the case. Xbox 360 also theoretically didn't require a subscription, but it cut off like 2/3 of the online features if you didn't.
I'm pretty sure 360 always required a subscription for any online features besides leaderboards.
Well, they'd let you, like, be in a party with a single person and play some multiplayer games, but that was through, they called it Xbox Silver, which was the free version of the online.
I'm just gonna guess
they
that
kinda got
had
rid of that
ceased to
eventually.
exist by the time I got an Xbox.
Mayhaps. Prior to 2010, okay, yeah, the Xbox Network, formerly known as Xbox Live, operated from 2002 to 2013. And of course, the Xbox One came out, and they had their new OS from there. So I think Xbox Live technically launched with the original Xbox, but, like, one of the problems with, I think that was called Gen 6 of consoles, is that all the Gen 6 consoles that had multiplayer options required you to also, like, buy an adapter in order to connect to the internet.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that. I played games like Call of Duty 3 completely offline. The Xbox 360, I got my first Xbox was an Elite, so I didn't need to, but I saw Dom's Xbox, and he had to have a special attachment on the top of it that came with the the wireless card. I think it was... I understand why they required it, but like, I think it was a mistake to launch any of those consoles without multiplayer, or with multiplayer support, without a Wi-Fi card or some form of internet card.
Wi-Fi wasn't really... We're talking like original Xbox era?
Yeah, the original Xbox
Wi-Fi was
era, that's fair.
only barely
like,
a thing at that point, if it even was a thing at all.
It also didn't come with like an Ethernet port adapter thing.
That's fair.
Which it should have. It should have been on the device itself, in my opinion.
I'll definitely agree with that. Well, I'm pretty sure actual support for online play didn't come until after it had been out for a while, actually, though. Because I'm pretty sure it had an Ethernet jack, but that was for System Link, not for online. I'm pretty sure that's why it had to have an adapter, was because the jack it had was, I think, was compatible with Ethernet, just not with actual internet connection.
As an example, the PS2 original, the one I had, did not come with internet card, and so you needed to have an adapter installed.
Yeah.
What I did not know is that the Slim version that came out later added that functionality.
Yep. I actually did know that.
It also had an overheat problem, from what I remember.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like
I have a Slim, and I never had any issues. I know every version of the PS3 had all kinds of problems. I think it was the PS3 that had an issue where it would overheat so badly that, like, the glue holding the hard drive in place would melt into the hard drive and brick it or some such.
Yeah, and on the inverse, the Xbox 360 had an issue with its soldering, where the soldering, after heating up, would start to separate from where it was soldered to, and so things would become disconnected from the motherboard. I think the people found out eventually that the fix to that was to like take the board out of the Xbox and then throw it in as high as it could get or some shit.
Fun.
Whatever the melting point of the solder was. Though, to be fair, while everybody complained about the ring of death, and it wasn't that thing, I think I had to, over the console, like, over the generation, trade in for more Xbox Ones than it.
Really?
Because they kept fucking breaking on me.
I still have the first Xbox One I ever bought, and it works fine.
I think I'm actually in possession of the Xbox that one of the Microsoft store employees owned.
Huh.
Because he like went in the back and pulled it out and he was like, yeah, this is mine. Shit was crazy. Back when customer service was really quite awesome. Not that it was actually fair.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone.
For some reason, I'm remembering this PS1 today. It was ridiculously hard. It was definitely Japanese, but it was like an English port. And I think it was about fighting mechs. And it was like Mortal Kombat or Tekken, but with robots.
I'm pretty sure there were a number of like mecha fighting games for like the PS1 and 2.
Yeah, probably. Let's see if I can remember it. One of the reasons I'm not remembering the names is because I'm fairly certain it wasn't on the CD, and I didn't really keep CD cases around. I had to spin them. Probably a bad idea to use the spin them, to be fair, but I was stupid and young.
I mean, all of the PS1 games that I own are in like what's the material called? Like a canvas CD organizer.
Oh yeah, one of the bags.
Yeah.
Even that's smarter though, because like those are meant for holding CDs. Theoretically, a spindle is also for holding CDs, but generally it's for CDs.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that you buy a big batch of rewritable CDs in.
Yeah, and it would hold like 100 on a rod. And so I put it on that because it was. I mean, to be fair, it's not like a lot of my CDs run great or anything, but like I tried playing one of my old copies of Destroy All Humans 2 on my PS2 like last year or so, and 2/3 of the textures in the first mission were missing.
Did you... Okay, this is a really weird niche thing, I'm sure, that I'm reminded of by CDs being game CDs being messed up.
Yeah.
I saw a video a few years ago about the world record speed run for I think a classic Xbox SpongeBob game. And apparently at some point in the history of this speed run, everyone who speedran this game was sure that the unquestionable best speedrun route had been discovered, and that like no one was ever going to get more than fractions of a second.
It's never been so over
on new runs. Until one day some guy uploads a run where he manages to like consistently replicate this glitch that the community has been trying to consistently replicate for decades, but has never been able to get consistent. Like, it's something that they can get, like, sometimes, but not reliably enough.
You can try it if you're goofy.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw away a run if you fuck it up.
And it turns out that you have to play it on an actual Xbox console. It can't be emulated. It has to be a console that was manufactured within a certain range of dates, because their disk drives are different depending on when they were manufactured. And the game disc has to be just dirty enough to lag just right for the glitch to be possible.
Oh my goodness. You have to have a game just poorly made.
Well, the guy who figured it, because the guy who replicated it, the guy who uploaded this run wasn't sure why he was able to replicate it so reliably. But, a bunch of people apparently watched him do the run, so, it was, they were able to prove that it was a real run.
You didn't doctor it.
So, a bunch of people in the community that speedran this game were just spending a ton of time trying to figure out how to replicate this glitch. And apparently one guy who was trying to figure it out was thinking, okay, what is, someone who is spending a ton of time working on this, probably hasn't showered in a while, what does his game disc look like? And this guy, takes the game disc out of his Xbox and, smears a little bit of sweat on it. And that's how he figures out that's what was letting the glitch happen. And it turns out the reason why this guy that, uploaded it without knowing about the glitch... No! The reason why his disc was exactly dirty enough is because when he was a teenager, a buddy of his convinced him that the most effective way to clean a video game disc was to lick it clean.
Oh god.
And he's been doing that his entire life.
In hell. See, I definitely understand it. I have multiple times tried restoring CDs. And generally there is no real way to do it, as far as I can tell. But
pretty much no, there isn't.
I've seen people get is by using very fine abrasives to try and clean off, the layer on top.
I'm pretty sure that's what most discs that have any kind of cleaning instructions say to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. But, like, getting the device to do that was not cheap, so I never did that. Instead, I always figured out some silly other way to do it. And I think the way I did it once was trying toothpaste, because it's got a bit of an abrasive in it.
Yeah.
And that probably got a little bit to work, but it was also in the short disc, so that's probably why I was missing some textures. The floor would be missing sometimes.
I really should use Inaros more. I always really liked him, and
Yeah.
he's been really good since his rework.
I want a Naros Prime before I start playing him again.
Fair.
I went and subsumed my original.
Funny, like, part of the reason why I had 5 Warframes sitting in my foundry is that I finally just broke down and bought all the parts to build the 5 primes I still didn't have. So once I've leveled these 5 frames, I will in fact have every prime Warframe and will have mastered every frame.
Nice. Grandmaster. And then you will truly have nothing to do in this game.
That's not true. I think we're up to like legendary rank 6 at this point.
Oh, fuck.
I don't plan to pursue legendary ranks to any meaningful degree.
Fair.
Like, the only thing you get out of those that's of any real value is you get a legendary core for every legendary rank.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
It's kind of nice, but at the same time, most people who are at legendary ranks have enough credits and endo that a legendary core is not that valuable anymore. Okay. I will be good to leave once this round is over.
Let's mix things up a little bit.
Have you seen any of the stuff from recent dev streams about the new frame?
No.
The new frame is definitely looking interesting.
As in completely busted OP again?
Yes. And
Yeah,
and
that
in a
sounds
way that is completely different from anything we've gotten before.
That's good. It's original. They're not out of ideas yet.
On the one hand, that's true, and that's good. On the other hand, if DE keeps making games the way they make Warframe, I'm not sure there will be any new original ideas left for other developers to try.
Man, that reminds me of there's this video I watched about a guy how bad the Sherlock show was.
Uh-huh.
The guy who was in charge of directing it had previously directed Doctor Who, and he talked about, like, we have to find ideas that would work for a full-length movie, and then only condense it into a 40-minute episode. That's the only way to get people through it. And then they're gonna be like, well, we just blew that blockbuster idea.
Now.
It's like, he actually implements so much shit, they're like, oh well, now nobody else can make games that are original.
Hurry, Hunter.
We've done
The
literally
conduit is
everything we
closing
can
fast.
with Warframe.
I've said before, there are so many things that they've done that I see and think, that can't possibly work. I don't understand how they think this will work. And then it does somehow. That at this point, I've reached the point where it's like, okay, if they say they're going to do this, I'm just going to assume it'll work out.
Like, there's probably going to be a hiccup or two, but, like, usually they do what they say they're going to do. I need to go give my cats food real quick. I will be right back.
Downloaded us
All
a
right.
movie for later. You wanna chill?
I'm back.
Welcome back. I've realized what frame I actually should have started with.
Yeah.
Limbo.
Ooh, yeah, probably. Oh well, gotta do it now.
Yep. I'm also not sure where I got the idea that I had 5 frames to level, because I've done, what, 3 at this point, and I still have 4 left, I think.
My goodness.
Limbo, Lavos, Protea, and Caliban, yeah.
Alright, I'm ready.
Let me get some mods on everything. Because obviously, like any real Warframe player, what I did instead of putting mods on while you were gone, I put colors on instead. Time to make the most obnoxious Limbo build possible.
You're gonna make all the enemies invincible for 2 minutes.
Actually, augment. Let's just try throwing Blind Rage on there, see how well I manage the bad efficiency. It's not like this is a hard mission. I've not used the Jin Sentinel in so long that it still has my old color set that I've not used in like 6 years.
You'll do too.
Your duty in this experiment is to dispatch as many specimens as efficiently as possible.
It's crazy how fast those guys are, like my minions are killing everything.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna put a death field in the middle of the map.
Neat. You know what's funny is it's probably entirely possible to get enough range on
To just cover the entire
yeah.
Probably. I haven't really spec'd for it.
That's fair.
Like, I've got crazy range on this one. It's only like 150, 160. Like, I know I'm taking a lot of kills. This is actually juicing your leveling up.
Yeah.
Good.
Realistically, I would probably level faster actually if you got all the kills instead of me getting any.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Because it would split
gives it to
evenly.
All your weapons.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Like, Nova's good at getting a lot of kills, but Uriel is busted.
Yeah.
So, bring him.
Because, like, as it is, consistently every run, whatever melee I bring has been leveling twice as fast as my frame, because the melee is getting all of my own kill XP. Actually, no, realistically, that shouldn't make sense either, because I'm pretty sure weapon XP is also split between your weapon and frame. For some reason.
Yeah, because getting kills at all improves the warframe, right?
Yeah. I don't know, though.
but the me getting kills gives all of your weapons XP, I think.
Yes, it splits XP evenly between all 4 slots, frame and 3 weapon slots, but I'm only bringing melee weapons, so it's only splitting half and half.
Enemies were genuinely struggling to find a spot to spawn there.
Yep. I put this here, I wonder if they'll just... Yeah, they will instantly take damage as soon as they spawn. Not enough to matter, because Limbo does not do any damage, basically. But they will instantly take damage, and it is kind of funny.
Another one. One more?
I have opened a new
Probably 2 or 3 more.
Proceed immediately.
Fair enough.
The less capable the frame itself is of doing damage, the more rounds it'll take. Funny enough, Limbo does actually have potential for being a really strong weapon platform.
Yeah.
But that really only kicks in once you have him completely maxed out, because you need a lot of range for it to work. His 3 has an augment that gives you a weapon. I think it gives the whole squad a weapon damage buff, scaling to the number of enemies currently affected by his 3.
Oh, and so having a lot of range means that you don't have to worry too much about keeping everything together.
Yeah. Like, once you have everything set up, basically everything inside his ultimate will be affected by his 3. And his ultimate has a pretty big range. So, get it maxed out, put big range on your stats, pop his 3 and 4, and just get a huge damage buff, because it scales to every enemy inside his 4 at that point, basically. And even some outside of it, because his 3 lets you spread the rift out of his ultimate. And then, because the damage buff is... Like, since his 3 is not considered a damage buff, since it's coming from an augment, you can then Helminth Roar onto him as well.
And do more damage.
Exactly. Yeah, 202% damage until I started killing things and they weren't in here anymore.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moved to a new zone.
This is a nice map to do my 4 on.
Yep.
Now they're all on the walls on the outside.
Yikes. That's a lot of heat damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Data conduit is open. Go now.
You this one too?
Yeah. Okay.
Is experiment torture? Lab rats also feel pain, yet their suffering creates knowledge. If the lessons learned today save lives,
I think one of my
in the
favorite
future,
lines from Samaris
then
is,
the ends
"Do you think I am a
justify my
masochist?
means."
Irrelevant. Continue the mission."
You have it backwards. He asks if you think he's a sadist, but also he pronounces it wrong.
Sadist. Yeah. I just love his constant attempts to, like, ease our character's conscience or whatever, even though I'm here for fun.
I mean, in theory, we are killing essentially perfected artificial intelligences on, like, repeatedly. Like, functionally speaking, he is repeatedly sending the same AI, the same fully sentient AI to fight us over and over en masse.
Don't worry, Hunter, it won't remember you. It does not hold a grudge.
Ow. Sure is funny just seeing an entire edge of my screen periodically become numbers.
Right? I can literally watch from through the walls as my demons decide to like run through a hallway and slaughter everything in sight. The map goes from being like full of red triangles to blank.
Ooh, this one will be perfect for you.
Oh. Right here in the middle. Okay, so it looks like it spreads the entire inner square.
Yep. Yeah, I found the edge of it.
Area denial.
Honestly, generally, this is one of the more annoying tiles for this.
Areas.
But when you can just turn the entire tile into a death zone, it works a lot better.
It's even better because, like, the demons, my 3, ignores walls. So
yeah.
I don't have to go fucking searching through these tunnels. I just send one down.
Just one more level on Limbo, and we'll be able to get out of here.
Alright.
Ow. Oh yeah, actually, I can find out real quick if you get the buff from... Did you just get a buff called Rift Torrent?
No.
Okay, it is only me then, I guess.
That's alright.
Yep. Do you happen to have your ultimate ready?
Yeah.
Hit it. Hopefully that'll get me the last bit of XP I need.
No, I don't have it ready, actually.
Let's just run through them. Because I'm very close, and I'd rather not have to do another run with Limbo.
There.
$700% on Rift Torrent.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's great. I could sit inside of your invincibility bubble and then use my 3 instead of using a gun.
Yep. Most abilities will work through the Rift. And with that, I have all the levels I need.
Nice.
Okay, what was that? That was weird. A 1000%.
1000%. 10 times damage.
Yep. The problem, of course, is that it decays the more enemies I kill because it is based on the number of enemies in the rift.
more time.
It's so funny to look at the map and just see guys spawn in and immediately vanish.
Yeah, right.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone.
And that's all there is.
Hunter,
While this one's
on
timing
your
out,
release of
I'm gonna
time,
go grab some water.
Enter the data conduit.
Works.
Or I'll drop my water bottle and nearly
Nice.
crush my foot.
Hunter, the sanctuary will go on without you.
Arrowhead already stealth nerfed a new weapon from the new battle pass or new war bond.
I have returned.
Welcome back. Arrowhead, the guys who make Helldivers 2, apparently has already stealth nerfed the new grenade that they added with the new war bond. People are
Shocking.
fuming. Yeah, right?
Whoever could have guessed they would do such a thing?
2 days. Sorry, no. 1 day. 24 hours.
Welcome to the stream, and yes, I did finally decide to reach MR30. Admittedly, I've been deciding that every once in a while for a few years now, but now I
But this
actually
time
have the
it's
stuff to do
serious.
it. Oh, I forgot to claim a melee weapon. That's not a melee weapon. You know what? I'll bet. Out of all the frames I've leveled so far, Caliban is the only one that I actually have an up-to-date build for.
Nice.
Don't know if these will fit, but I can find out. what got dropped from this. Razor Mortar is what got dropped, and that's kind of the most critical part of this build. Oh. Right, I forgot. They did just the dumbest thing imaginable with Caliban Prime.
Yeah.
Standard Caliban has an innate universal polarity for his aura. Prime has a dash polarity.
Huh.
Oh boy.
Maybe I hit a cream somewhere. Maybe I
Recently, the game has been... I don't know, Parita was pretty good, but it also wasn't very much. It's definitely the beginning of a new thing. Descendia is pretty fun. So, the game has been pretty good recently, I'd say.
Oh, you can watch me play the new Warframe.
Oh.
Or at least you'll see it in the background. I'm playing Yuri still.
Yeah. Warframes have gotten more and more broken, and any consideration of balance has been thrown out the window. I say that. Realistically, Uriel is not actually that badly balanced. I don't think.
It's only as good as it is because we're as kitted out with mods as
well. Well, that, but also Uriel's big damage is locked behind building up a special gauge that takes quite a while.
I feel like my 3 does a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's true, but...
this is also not Steel Path.
That too. I mean, even in Steel Path, Uriel's 3 does do pretty good damage. That being said, the bulk of his damage is locked behind an ultimate, and you do have to build up its own gauge. And that can definitely take some time.
Because so many enemies spawn so close to you, it's really easy to do that, though.
That's fair.
And there it is in action. Map gone.
Yep, map's empty now. No more playing the game.
We win. And it's gonna sit like that for a while.
You can take... I'll show you once this mission is over. Uriel is just completely broken. Like...
It's so fun.
He is... go into a mission with no mods at all and still kill Steel Path enemies no problem broken.
He can fly.
That too. But he's also not the first frame to be able to do that.
See how quickly I can get the next one. Already more than halfway there.
Vauban also got a kind of a mini rework recently that takes him from already pretty strong to broken.
Don't get me wrong, I'm glad they reworked him because I didn't really enjoy his original gameplay. But like, I feel like there was at least a Warframe
new
or two
data
that they could have
conduit
like
is
done
open.
beforehand.
He got the rework because he was getting an interlude skin.
Right.
And also, his gameplay hasn't really changed, honestly.
Since
Well, I mean, like, the rework didn't really change his gameplay much.
fair enough. It simplified the selection of abilities, though.
That's
what
fair.
I really care about.
I always just ignored those.
I liked the idea of the little servo balls, but there were so many different mutations, and it was easy for me.
I always just ignored Mind Layer, honestly. I either ignored it or set it to the either the overdriver or the flechette, and only use that.
But like that's a problem I struggle with. For example, on Zaku. His three is like 3 different abilities, and I'm not very good at selecting the right pictogram.
You only need to care about the one it defaults to. Which I think is actually... yeah. It does default to gaze, I believe. Accuse is also pretty good, but Armor Strip isn't as valuable as it used to be.
Yeah. I'm able to keep spamming these abilities because I have
Energy Nexus?
Yeah. We got a so I'm just regenerating enough energy.
I've got a little secret for you. That's not what's getting you all that energy.
Oh?
Caliban, not Caliban, Uriel has, like, one of his demons generates orbs like crazy. One of his demons latches onto enemies, and, like, you'll see enemies that are latched onto have a little mark over their head. And if you kill the latched enemy, it'll generate a mini version of his ultimate and generate, like, 7 orbs.
Goodbye, room.
A data conduit is open. Go now.
What's it gonna do? Oh, it's just reflect right. That's good.
Yeah.
I cast my ult and then it opened a portal on top of me.
Well done.
Honestly, I think the 2 best things about Uriel are, first off, his form, obviously, because it's great. It just has it already has like a massive area of effect. You juice it pretty far.
Yeah.
But then the second thing I really like about Uriel is that his 1 and 3 gel really well together.
Yeah.
His 1 makes his it makes him and his demons leave a trail of fire when they're running around, I think. So,
it's not a trail of fire, it just kind of puts fire around you. But yeah.
And when you activate your 3, it just sends 3 of these balls of fire down into the enemies.
Yep.
It's doing multiple instances of like 375 damage and fire proc. did like a material rework when they added Zeraman.
Did they?
Like the operator. Yeah, like all the void shell stuff.
Oh, like visible like material.
Yeah. I
Yes.
wish they'd do that with like guns. There are plenty of I feel skin like colors don't work the same.
There was a point in time when they did that, but it was a very long time ago.
Fair.
This will be the last round we need. I love how one augment took Caliban from being kind of weird and confusing because he has a status effect that only works, that like was useless in his kit, to he's now actually really good and like a really strong like caster / summon frame.
I love that. They had a lot of fun games.
I really do like augments as a concept. I do kind of hate that there are a lot of frames that are basically useless without certain ones.
Without the augment. Yeah, that's fair.
Like Caliban is at least usable without the Razor Mortar augment, but he is significantly worse, in my opinion. Just because...
Yeah, the same goes for, like, Nova, for example. She's great, but, like, her augments turn her into a nuke cannon.
She's already a very strong nuke without augments. I'd say hers are at most just quality of life.
I mean, the one that makes, isn't there one that powers up Null Stars? So that
there's
like status damage and stuff.
That's
kind of amazing.
Fair. I had forgotten about that. But she is still very strong even without that one.
Yeah.
Hunter,
you're making waves, Dreamers. I can feel it.
I've got time for probably another one of these.
Alright.
Tenno, you will make an excellent hunter.
Daily update. More resources. I've currently got a 12-hour resource drop chance booster, a 1-day resource booster, and the 2-day 14 event affinity booster. All boostered up.
Yep. Alright, melee weapon too.
I'll at least set some weapons to start building again. Amphis and Ankairos. Have I already? No, I haven't. Let's do Boar, because like, well, to be fair, Boar Prime exists, right?
Yes.
Boar Prime is probably better for the Incarnate.
Yep.
So I'll wait on doing anything to that Boar, but I'll master it in the meantime.
And it has a pretty decent Incarnon. It's not an amazing one, but it's good.
I've seen some people making it into like a status can.
Yeah, that's kind of
that
just
could
the
be
thing
pretty
to
fun.
do with it.
I still don't have Hesper. I want that.
You have the Thalys, don't you?
The what?
The Thalys?
Yes.
That's just blatantly better than the Hespar.
Fair enough. Yeah, all I'm missing from Inaros Prime is the neuroptics and the chassis. Oh, apparently I'm missing one singular Nikana from the collection.
Oh?
Nikana Prime.
That would be the one to be missing.
Yeah, is it hard to get?
No, not any more than any other Prime weapon. Just
Fair enough.
still, like, out of the Nikanas available in the game, or the
That's
other
the
ones,
one that would be most
one
likely
of them
to get
comes from
forgotten.
Deviri, so it's super easy to get.
Right.
One of them is...
Was a gift from the Lotus.
Yeah. One of them you get from a quest.
Yeah.
One of them is
the base
super
model.
cheap. Yeah, is the base Nikana. One of them is
And then,
the base
is there a
Nikana,
Nikana
but
Mark
slightly
1?
better. A what?
Is there like a Nikana Mark 1?
No. You can use the base Nikana to craft the Dragon Nikana.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
I've got the stuff to make Orpheus, but I'm probably gonna wait, because I need more organ cells eventually. I've only got 12.
Makes sense.
I also need some Eidolon shards in order to make Paracesis.
You could,
Probably
alternatively,
at this point.
just not make Paracesis, and you wouldn't be missing
I
anything.
mean, yeah, but also I have Broken War and or Galantine, and I've just been kind of sitting on it.
Fair.
This way I could get it out of my inventory without just selling it.
I'm not sure it'll even let you sell the blueprint. It probably will, because you can get it back from Samaris.
Oh, I was trying to make the Strun Wraith, that's why. Because that's like the best Strun variant to make into...
The Strun Prime is the best one.
Ah, fair.
Well, okay, there's a little bit of weirdness with the Strun in terms of which is best, but generally the Prime is the best one.
Okay.
Thank you, life.
Technically, because the Wraith has a slightly better Riven disposition, if you have a really, really strong Riven, it'll let the Wraith edge the Prime out by a little bit.
I feel like I got a funny Strun Riven. Like, that might have been the reason I was thinking about it.
If it's...
Either that, or I just had the Incarnon waiting around to be used.
The Strun Incarnon is also, as far as I'm aware, the highest status chance you can get on a weapon. And the Strun Wraith does have more status chance than the Prime, so you could
so
just...
using it as a status cannon might be the better choice.
Maybe it's probably not the better choice, but it's definitely the more entertaining choice.
I love goofy builds in this game. I think that's one of the reasons this game has so much replayability.
There is at least one person in the live stream chat who would disagree with you on the replayability, I think.
Oof. He was a one and done player?
He played for a very long time, but I don't believe he
fair.
has played in a few years now.
I suppose replayability is the wrong word. That implies starting.
Yeah.
Longevity would be a better term.
Yeah.
Like, there aren't many games that have some, like, 400 hours into. At least not on PC. I'm sure I did that on PS2 or something.
There's also a difference, though, between sinking 400 hours into a game on the PlayStation 2 because you're a kid and that's the only game you have.
Yeah.
And sinking 400 hours into a free-to-play game where there's a massive number of other options available to you at a moment's notice.
I mean, to be fair, free-to-play games do seem to have the bulk of my attention. Like, I've put, I think, 2,500 hours into War Thunder. And I hate that game, so, I mean, you know, I like the shit.
I forgot to put Valence Formation on. You know what's funny is I don't really actually know what any of Lavos' abilities do. I just kind of use them all and things die.
So, one is something you use to get your health back.
That I did know.
Two is a Vile Rush. It's mostly a mobility thing, but also it freezes enemies in place.
Yeah.
Your three is the Transmute thing.
I know it reduces my cooldowns. That's all I really remember about it.
It also, it turns all ammo and orbs into universal, I believe.
Okay. I knew something did, I just couldn't remember what.
At the very least, the orbs do. I don't know if it does the ammo now that I say that out loud. But, and then the four is, of course, just an area of effect. And it does more damage the more enemies are affected by statuses.
Okay.
Like, it does 100% more damage for each status effect that an enemy is.
I knew there was something like that on one of his abilities.
The way I normally play it is I pick up that augment that allows it to transfer the status types to one.
The way I normally play him is I pick up that augment, choose whatever damage type I want, then just uses one and ignore the other abilities.
I spend most of my time spamming my 1 and 2 on that character, I think. Just because those have the lowest cooldowns.
Yeah.
And I save my 3 until after I've used my 4.
Well, that 3 is not going to do me any good, because nothing's going to get hit down there. Oh well.
It has a surprising amount of area damage. But yeah, you gotta find like a clear spot so it can go straight across. I almost never use it for the ammo and the energy conversion, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Lavos doesn't benefit from energy. Although he does get knockdown immunity.
Orbs. Using the universal energy orbs cools down his speeds up his cooldown, I think.
But also, universal or energy orbs give him knockdown immunity for, I think, 10 seconds.
That's also pretty cool. But, like, I think Lavos is, like, really well set up, honestly. I wouldn't change anything in his abilities.
Yeah, again, like, when I use them, I kind of just pop all the abilities in some order or another, and things die. So, like, he clearly works.
I have opened a new data conduit. Proceed immediately.
Got insane range on this flamethrower.
Oh?
This Ignis. Like, I could probably shoot across a basket, like a football field at this point. Okay. I've got the range. How do I mark things again?
G, I believe.
32 meters of range.
Do you have a range mod on it?
Yes, I think so. I also might have Firestorm on it, which increases the blast radius. And so I could just kind of point this thing down a hallway and clear it. I could make a viable just like blast. Probably, right?
There's a decent
Do
chance.
status damage mods affect blasts?
Yes.
Like proc?
Yes.
Okay. It's the cogs turn, you know? There aren't many games I like experimenting with builds on. It's this game and like Dark Tide, and that's about it.
Yeah,
I mean, Fallouts are fun, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, like, I kind of just do the same build every time because I'm lazy.
Oh.
Just take forever to actually set up. This game allows you to customize it instantly.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. The game's lagging with how many damage markers I just got.
It's the Warframe experience.
Love it. I feel like it taps into like my primal enjoyment of clicker games.
Oh.
Yeah, like Cookie Clicker and shit. I love those games. They're like a waste of time, but they're quite fun. I like watching number go up.
To each his own, I suppose.
That's why I was just playing the Dice A Million game. That is literally the whole point of it. Watch number go up.
I think maybe the call for a good Lavos build would be to always infuse, like a caster build specifically, not a Valence Formation build, would be to always infuse radiation and then run, I've forgotten the name of the Arcane Universal Fallout. To just get even more universal orbs to cool down your abilities super fast all the time.
I don't know if I have that arcane, honestly.
You almost certainly don't, because it only drops from Temporal Archimedia.
Oh, yes. So
A new data conduit is open.
I think I've only just completed my first temporal Archimedes with you.
One more round, and I should have the levels I need. Honestly,
to be honest, I expected the Archimedes to be harder.
Keep in mind there is a harder tier of it.
Fair. And I didn't put on any of the weird challenges.
They should retain no recollection of what you have done to them.
But also, I ran the first one that I did. I guess technically I ran two. One of the difficulty we did and one of the harder ones. And then I decided, you know what? It's going to take way too long to farm this arcane out because I can get at most, I think, 3 of it a week. And I just went and bought one from someone online, someone on Warframe Market.
Fair enough. Can you get it for Vosper by any chance?
I think so.
Okay, so I might, try that.
Chances are that's probably how people had it ready to, had a maxed out one on Warframe Market in the first place, because it had released pretty recently.
Was it an excessive price, or...?
Nope. It was...
That's fair.
It was a little pricey, but not more than I would expect from a brand new arcane that just released.
Yeah, that's fair. The independent websites people set up.
Yeah.
They have rules of service. It's if you want to keep doing trades here, you cannot change the price at all. In fact, you have to copy paste this exact thing you said earlier.
I think that's for the best.
For real. Don't try to scam me out of some extra platinum.
But also, realistically, there's not, even though they say that, there's not a whole lot Warframe Market can actually do.
Yeah, but then you can report them and they'll suspend that account or something on their website.
There's no way to know who, what account belongs to a given buyer, though.
Well,
you use your in-game account for the purchase, and
yeah, but
sure.
Don't you have to give up your in-game account username in order to get messaged?
No, you just go on Warframe Market and you find a seller for whatever you want. If you're buying something, you find a seller for whatever you want, and you click on the buy button, and it automatically generates the Warframe chat commands. We're good. We don't have to go to the next one. To automatically message the seller with the message. You don't have at any point. The buyer doesn't at any point have to give Warframe Market their accounts their account name. Only the seller does.
I'm not really worried about the buyer normally.
The buyer is the one that has the chance to change the price to mess with someone.
I was always thinking about it from the buyer's perspective.
The sanctuary will go on without you.
But you get what I mean. That allows it to be an even ground. And while the buyer might be anonymous, the seller won't be. So you've got a reputation on there.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, is it? Being here like this.
Alright. I'ma head off.
Alrighty.
Talk to you later.
Yep. See ya. Okay. Oh yeah, I don't know if you're still watching, but if you are, I did just remember I forgot to show you what I was talking about with Uriel and his broken ability. But I can go ahead and do that. What even are the numbers on this? So yeah, basically it's just 1,500 damage per second, except it ramps up the entire duration of the ability. I'm pretty certain it's bigger than 15 meters, even without range, but with range, it gets pretty ridiculous. Dropped adaptation, that's fine. This. Alright. Oh well.
Hope you don't mind. I rearranged some cables.
Alrighty.
Tidy space, tidy mind.
I believe it's 6,000 for each frame and 3,000 for each weapon. It'd be 3,000 for each weapon, not 4. That's my bad. So I'll need Protea, then 5 more weapons. At least once I'm finished with Protea, each weapon should take a lot less time to level. I forgot to switch my melee weapon. Oh well. That's... That's not what I wanted. This is going to be a lot more painful on my own. Oh, it just takes a minute. I absolutely hate this tile. Are you kidding me? That's some bullshit.
Data conduit is open. Go now.
course, I miss out on energy I need right before I need it.
I have opened a new data conduit. Proceed immediately.
Of course. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. That's not the one I meant to use. Oh well.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone.
I didn't know Samaris' dialogue would be included in the rewind. That's really funny. Alrighty. There's Protea leveled. Which means all the remaining runs can just be Chroma and a melee weapon.
opened a new data conduit. Proceed immediately. Hunter, you are running out of time. Enter the data conduit. Hunter, the sanctuary will go on without you.
Neat.
I promise you'll never lose the remote. I can isolate it. Just...
Honestly, if it's all weapons at this point, I might as well. Take primaries and secondaries too. Was the belt that I picked up? Nope. Oh, I forgot I had the Paris as well.
You have it.
Oh, wait. There we go.
Your duty in this experiment is to dispatch as many specimens as efficiently as possible. When the time comes...
I should have put mods on this. Like, on the one hand, the entire point of running Chroma is so that I don't have to, but man, some attack speed would be really nice. I should just stick to one base level instead of switching so much.
gathered enough data on that ability.
Oh.
Use another tactic.
Ow.
I have opened a new data conduit. Proceed immediately. Do not weep for these creatures. They are immortal. They can and have faced 1 billion deaths. You, however, do not enjoy the protections of synthesis. For you, failure has real-life consequences.
Okay. Oh, right, I was nullified, that's why. Oh. What? There's definitely something that's... Yeah, that should not be able to do that much damage right now.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone. Hunter, try a different ability.
Really? Okay, there's a... Of course there's another one.
A data conduit is open. Go now. Ease your mind, Hunter. There is no conclusive evidence these data immortals possess memory persistence. They should retain no recollection of what you have done to them. Hunter, I have temporarily disabled that ability.
I don't see why, because I didn't actually cast it. Okay. I cannot for the life of me understand why neither Elemental Ward nor Vex Armor have any kind of knockdown resistance. That seems like such an obvious thing to have on an ability like this.
This experiment will fail if your efficiency drops further. You generated some usable data, but I need more. Return when you are ready to subject these data.
So yeah, I remember now why I only wanted to use melee weapons for this. And it's because everything else is trash. Don't think. Yeah, that's what I figured. Alright, don't actually care enough to do other stuff with that. Alright, until I've actually gotten one last form on here, I'm just gonna go with the easy alternative. Oh boy.
Your duty in this experiment is to dispatch as many specimens as efficiently I have gathered enough data on that ability. Use another tactic. data conduit is open. Go now. Hunter, your reliance on that ability is skewing my data. I have disabled it for now. A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone. Hunter, try a different ability. conduit now. Hunter, I have temporarily disabled that ability.
Okay. Not sure what happened there exactly. Oh, that's not good.
Hunter, try a different ability. I have opened a new data conduit. Proceed immediately. I have gathered enough data on
No, you
that
haven't.
ability. Use another tactic. Efficiency is crucial to this experiment's design. Work faster!
Oh well.
You generated some usable data, but I need more. Return when you are ready to subject these data immortals to a
there's a chance I can finish this with the gear I have on me. I don't think it's terribly likely, but it might be possible.
Hunter, your reliance on that ability is skewing my data. I have disabled it for now.
It's really stupid that it considers the two different versions of Thermal Sunder to be the same ability. It doesn't matter because I'm only using it for thermal transfer, but it's still stupid. Shit.
I have gathered enough data on that ability. Use another tactic. new data conduit. Proceed immediately. Hunter, I have temporarily disabled that ability. Data conduit is open. Go now. Hunter, try a different ability.
This is probably where this will
Hunter,
end.
do you think me a sadist? That I enjoy this suffering? Irrelevant. Focus on your task. Hunter, try a different ability.
That's bullshit. Those are not going to get finished here.
Crucial to this experiment's design. Work faster.
Cool. Would have been great if I had been able to use my ability at any point in all
but
that.
I need more. Return when you are ready to subject these data immortals to a...
One more weapon. That's the wrong thingy. Pretty sure there's a prime version of these. Yeah, so. Alrighty, last onslaught run, and then I'll finally be ready to do the mastery test that I haven't even practiced at all, even though I intended to.
Kill everything you encounter. Do not relent.
Ah, okay.
The integrity of this experiment will... Hunter, try a different ability. A data conduit is open. Go now.
Alright.
Hunter.
Oh, I
temporarily
fucked that
disabled
one.
that ability.
Oh well. It should be fine.
Enter the conduit now. Hunter, your reliance on that ability is skewing my data. I have disabled it for now. new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone. Hunter, you are running out of time. Enter the data conduit. Hunter,
all right.
The sanctuary will go on without you.
Managed to get everything ranked up too. Pretty sure they got rid of the failure reset time, so I should be able to just...
Tenno, this is your true master test. Your only objective, survival.
Oh, literal survival game mode. Kind of. Bosses. Oh, that's just a capsule. Do I have to activate the capsule for this to continue? Oh, right. What? Where am I getting Overguard from? Like, I was having that happen in a different mission recently, too.
Congratulations, true master.
There are a ton of other mastery tests that are way harder than that one. Neat.
I know Mir could probably get a pizza here fastest.
Oh boy.
Watching Letty try not to steal a bite on the way here would be much more fun.
Well, that's kind of the stated purpose of the stream done, so I think I'm gonna call it a night. If anyone's still here, thanks for watching, and who knows when I'll be back with what at this point.